Tessa, what was it like getting that reaction? Because it was a long way. You weren't too sure who was going to be named. What was it like hearing it's going to be Alan Turing?
About time too, actually. And also, just whenever I think of Alan Turing, how dare we? How dare we have done that to this man? Interestingly, always an openly gay man. And what's fascinating about his story, you know, he was a phenomenal scientist in the 30s before he became heavily involved in the cryptanalyst world, and then on to Bletchley Park and out the other end. And what's fascinating, when he was at King's University in London in the 30s, you know, he was very comfortable there. He was known as being gay. When I worked on the Bletchley Girls, the book, I spoke with lots of former Bletchley veterans. People knew that he was a gay man, and also that he was a genius, a really special and rare combination. And the 50s, a far tougher climate, a far harder climate, far higher convictions for gay men. And of course, he was tragically caught up in that witch hunt.
Yeah, and Matthew, you can't understate the role he's played in just modern life, the role he plays in computers.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you were introducing it, I just felt like putting my head in my hands. It's just so appalling what happened to him. Someone that has contributed so much to the world, that we treated him so badly. I can't think of anyone that kind of more represents the kind of injustice of societal homophobia and how it affected all of us, because he did so much in his life. If he was still, you know, if he'd lived, you know, what else would he have done that could have contributed to the world? It's incredible.
And all those who worked with him at the park, he was also an enchanting, a mercurial, an interesting individual, and extraordinary under pressure. I was lucky enough to meet one of the women who worked in Hut 8, where, because what he did, one of the things he was most famous for was this electronic testing machine. Also, he was the father of computing, but it worked out the Enigma settings so that we could work out what the Germans were going to do next that day. And actually, they suddenly added an extra key, the Germans, to this machine. We were back in the dark, but he didn't panic. He stuck with it, you know, that during that Atlantic blockout, you know, so level-headed. A man that a country needs to treasure. And of course, awarded an OBE for his wartime work, which makes it all the more horrific what happened in the 50s.
I mean, how significant is this, Matthew, to the LGBT community? Because he was only pardoned 2013. So how significant is the fact he's going to now be on the £50 note?
I think people are really pleased and really happy. And when I heard, actually, I did shed a little tear today in the coffee shop when I heard, because he is so important. And I think, you know, they killed him, essentially. So, you know, you can't ever take that back, can you? But he was so key in actually the law change in actually 1967 as well, because his death, the conviction of John Gielgud and Lord Montague Bewley, I think contributed to the country knowing that we needed to change some of the laws. We needed to partially decriminalise homosexuality, which kind of partially happened in '67. So I think people will be really happy that this has happened.
And of course, you know, it wasn't just him, and you know, the focus on the £50 notes looks at his role in computers, but it wasn't just him who played a significant role in Bletchley.
And what's very interesting is he really, in the 50s, not only was he having a nightmare personally, but he really missed the academic and the engineering and the intelligent cooperation that happened during the war with America, and so too in that heady atmosphere in the park.
OK, well, Tessa Dunlop and Matthew Todd, really good talking to you about this significant day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.